Hello. Okay, so we're going to read Act 4, Scene 5. This is one of my favorite scenes in this play. It's hilarious. So just, be ready. We're back with Petruchio, Catherine, and Hortensio, and they are about to leave to go back to Padua for the wedding of Bianca and Lucentio. Okay.
Come on, a God's name, once more toward our fathers. Good Lord. How bright and goodly shines the moon.
The moon? The sun? It is not moonlight now.
I say it is the moon that shines so bright.
I know it is the sun that shines so bright.
Now, by my mother's son, and that's myself, it shall be moon or star or what I list, or ere I journey to your father's house. Go on and fetch our horses back again, evermore crossed and crossed, nothing but crossed.
Say as he says, or we shall never go.
Oh. Forward, I pray, since we have come so far, and be it moon or sun or what you please, and if you please to call it a rush candle, henceforth I vow it shall be so for me.
I say it is the moon.
I know it is the moon.
Nay, then you lie, it is the blessed sun.
Then God be blessed, it is the blessed sun. But sun it is not when you say it is not, and the moon changes even as your mind. What you will have it named, even that it is, and so it shall be still for Catherine.
Petruchio, go thy ways, the field is won.
Well,
Okay, so first of all, the scene, funny. So Petruchio, so they're literally on their way to Padua. He looks up and he says, just imagine the sun is shining down. It's beating down upon them. He looks up and he's like, "Whew, how brightly shines the moon." Catherine's like, "The moon? It's the sun. Did you forget?" You know those people who have to correct every single thing ever? I love it when they're in class and they correct things that I say. It's awesome. Because, you know what? I do know my material, so if I say the wrong name, it's not that I meant the wrong name, I just said the wrong name. It's funny. It's funny those people who have to always correct everybody because they're so superior. Oh, it's exhausting, right? That's kind of who Catherine is. She's like, "Excuse me, it is not the moon, it's the sun. Duh, you're an idiot. Your eyes do not work. Haha, weirdo." He says, "I say it's the moon." And she's like, "I know it's the sun. You're wrong, buddy. It's the sun. You're crazy." And he says, "Listen, I say it's the moon. It shall be the moon, or we're not going. We're going to turn around right now. We're going to go back. We're not going to your sister's wedding, and I don't care." Hortensio looks at her and says, "Say it as he says, or we're never going. Like, learn the lesson, dummy. The point isn't for you to be right. The point is just say what he wants you to say. At some point, even if it's not the exact thing you would have said, be agreeable. Be agreeable ever. That would be awesome." So Catherine finally says, "We've come so far. So moon, sun, whatever you say it is, it's awesome. It's shining brightly. I love it." He says, "I say it's the moon." She says, "I know it's the moon. Obviously, you say it's the moon. It must be the moon." And then he's like, "Well, then you lie. It's the sun. Do you not have eyes in your head? It's the sun." And then she's like, "Well, then it's the sun." Awesome. But it's sun whenever you say it's sun. It's moon whenever you say it's the moon. Whatever you say, that's what it is for me too. Am I doing it right? Have I got it down yet? Can we stop this silly lesson? Okay, I need to learn when to hold my tongue, and I sometimes need to not push an issue that doesn't matter. Point taken. Alrighty. Hortensio says, "Petruchio, dude, you won." Let's see.
forward, forward, thus the bowl should run, and not unluckily against the bias. But soft. What company is coming here?
There's a man there's a man who's like going to join them on the road. That man is the real Vincentio. That's right, Lucentio's actual dad is coming to Padua. What? Anyway, he's on his way. So they run into the real Vincentio. So that's the guy they're talking to.
Good morrow, gentle mistress. Where away? Tell me, sweet Kate, and tell me truly, too, hast thou beheld a fresher gentlewoman? Such war of white and red within her cheeks. What stars do spangle heaven with such beauty as those two eyes become that heavenly face? A fair, lovely maid. Once more, good day to thee. Sweet Kate, embrace her for her beauty's sake.
He's talking to Vincentio. He's talking about Vincentio. So, like, there's this old guy who's kind of joining them on the road heading to Padua. So he looks at the old guy, imagine random old man, and he says, good morrow. He looks at Vincentio and says, good morrow, gentle mistress. Where away? Where are you going? And then he says to Kate, tell me, Kate, have you ever beheld a fresher gentlewoman? This is an old man. It's an old man. It's an old guy. Have you ever beheld a fresher gentlewoman, such war of white and red within her cheeks? What stars do spangle heaven with such beauty, and those two eyes become the heavenly face? Fair, lovely maid. Old man, it's an old man. More good day to thee. Sweet Kate, embrace her for her beauty's sake. Men don't usually ask their wives to embrace other men, but young girls for sure. So embrace her for her beauty's sake. She's so beautiful, give her a hug. She deserves it, she's so pretty.
Make the man mad to make a woman of him.
Young budding virgin, fair and fresh and sweet, whither away, or where is thy abode? Happy the parents of so fair a child, happier the man whom favourable stars allots thee for his lovely bedfellow.
So Catherine literally walks up to this old man, this old guy. She should be respectful and should be like, Father, and that's, she walks up and is like touching his face and saying, young budding virgin, fair, fresh, sweet. Where's your abode? Happy the parents of so fair a child. Old guy, this is an old guy. Happier the man who gets to marry your beautiful face. Wow. So she just goes in, like she goes for it. She goes for gold, man. Catherine is awesome. Because sometimes in life, you have to learn to adapt a little bit. Catherine hasn't really ever had to learn to adapt. I feel like we all have to learn to adapt. For instance, this whole situation where I'm talking to my phone for hours on end, and then you're playing it later, we're adapting, right? That's part of life. Adaptation is part of life. Catherine hasn't had to do that. Man, she's nailing it. She's so good. Like, she walks up to the old guy and is talking about what a pretty young girl he is. Outstanding.
Why, how now, Kate? I hope thou art not mad. This is a man. Oh, wrinkled, faded, withered, and not a maiden, as thou sayest he is.
Oh, pardon, old father, my mistaking eyes that have been so bedazzled with the sun that everything I look on seemeth green. Now I perceive thou art a reverend father. Pardon, I pray thee, for my mad mistaking.
Do.
Okay, so I love the way that the actress read that line. Because, okay, so Petruchio, as soon as Catherine's over there, like, touching the old guy's face and talking about what a pretty young girl she is, Petruchio's like, Kate, I hope you're not crazy, because that's an old man. Well, that's weird. That's not a maiden at all, like you said she was. Weird. And then Catherine looks and is like, oh, pardon me, Father, that my mistaken eyes that have been so bedazzled with the... She said, the actress was like, by the sun, because it's the sun shining. I have seen it played. If you watch the movie with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor, whenever she says that line, she says, oh, pardon, old father, my mistaken eyes that have been so bedazzled with the sun? She looks to Petruchio and asks him, because is it the sun, is it the moon, whatever you say it is, buddy. That's what I'm saying. So good her for going ahead and pushing through. But she says, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm hot. I'm not myself. Oh, my mad mistaking.
Good old grandsire, and withal make known which way thou travellest. If along with us, we shall be joyful of thy company.
Fair sir, and you, my merry mistress, that with your strange encounter much amazed me. My name is called Vincentio, my dwelling Pisa, and bound I am to Padua, there to visit a son of mine, which long I have not seen.
What is his name?
Lucentio, gentle sir.
Happily met, the happier for thy son. And now, by law as well as reverend age, I may entitle thee my loving father. The sister to my wife, this gentlewoman, thy son by this hath married. Wonder not, nor be not grieved, she is of good esteem, her dowry wealthy, and of worthy birth. Besides, so qualified as may beseem the spouse of any noble gentleman. Let me embrace with old Vincentio. And wonder we to see thy honest son, who will of thy arrival be full joyous.
But is this true? Or is it else your pleasure, like pleasant travellers, to break a jest upon the company you overtake? I do assure thee, for father, so it is.
Come, go along and see the truth hereof. For our first merriment hath made thee jealous.
Well, Petruchio, this has put me in heart. Have to my widow, and if she be froward, then hast thou taught Hortensio to be untowed.
Okay, so Petruchio just told Vincentio that his son has married Bianca and that they're related. So he's like, hey, I'm gonna call you dad because like we're family, buddy. Awesome. And Vincentio's like, is this part of the joke? Was this part of like the calling me a young girl thing? Because that was weird, but all right. And Petruchio's like, no, that part's real. Your son is married. So Vincentio's going into Padua now. He was just going to go check on his son. He hadn't seen him in a while. This is back before cell phones, guys. You have to like, send letters or go see people. Anyway, and so, oh my gosh. So now he's going to see his son who has evidently married without his knowledge. He's a bit concerned. And then Hortensio, looking at this whole situation, is like, man, if my widow ever gets out of line, I know what to do. Yeah, Petruchio has taught me his ways. I mean, we'll see. There is a great scene at the end that kind of puts this all into perspective. So if anybody is feeling a little bit of rage with the way Petruchio has been treating Catherine, I will say this. Catherine had some character issues. She was kind of a one-trick pony where she raged about everything in life. If you are a person who rages about everything in life, I'm telling you, you need to figure out a way to have a different behavior. So that's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for people around you. So she kind of only did one thing for every single thing, and it was the reason that everybody knew her as a shrew. Catherine is just as much of a wonderful human being as any of us. She wants love. She wants respect. She wants relationship. She wants community. But she had gotten herself into such a rage about everything in life. And she had some reasons. Okay, she had some reasons to be a little bit grumpy about things. And oftentimes when people are bitter and angry, they have reasons for being that way. But we can't ever just become a big sea of like bitterness. So Catherine had gotten herself into a weird place. And rage was the way she met everything in life. Petruchio has kind of helped her by kind of forcing her into denying some things that she wants, denying even the ability to just let her emotions just rage out of control whenever she wants to. Some of those things that she's learned, he is just as strong-willed and strong-tempered as she is. Now, here's my hypothesis. So ladies, just in case you are enraged by this situation, I am a strong-willed female. I love Catherine and Petruchio. I don't think weak men can handle a strong-minded female. I don't think the quiet types that just want peace can necessarily always handle a strong-minded female. You need somebody who can kind of be strong-minded right back at you. Somebody that you can debate with, you can argue with, and you can have some conversation with. That's really what's required. So I think that Catherine, the reason back in Act II, where she doesn't argue at the point that Petruchio is saying they're getting married. In that conversation, she saw a lot about who he was. And I think she kind of liked it that she couldn't beat him. Because there wasn't a man that she ever met that she couldn't beat. She couldn't best verbally. That she couldn't, basically take advantage of verbally. And finally, she's met her match. And I think she recognized that match in him. And so that's what we're seeing is he's very strong-minded. He's not just going to bow and, you know, endure her bad behavior. He's going to help her be better. He's going to demand better behavior. And he and she are both going to rise as a result of that. So I think it's interesting. Okay, so we'll talk this out on Friday. See you then. Bye.